This is Mamuni. Thank you so much for being Amar Baba.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to solve a double column cash book with cash and bank columns. So let's get started. Chalo, shuru kara jak. Please remember, in a double column cash book, all cash receipts are recorded on the debit side in the cash column. In a double column cash book, all cash payments are recorded on the credit side in the cash column. Okay? And please remember, all checks received are recorded on the debit side in the bank column. And all checks paid are recorded on the credit side in the bank column. Okay? And please remember, cash column represents cash account and bank column represents bank account. And please remember, cash book, be it a single column or a double column or a triple column, does not record credit transactions. Cash book always records cash transactions. Okay? So let's go through the problem. So here is the problem. Cash book, double column. Enter the following transactions in a double column cash book. So what is the first transaction? 2022 on 1st April, cash in hand 6,000, cash at bank 12,000. So the opening balance of cash in hand and the opening balance of cash at a bank is given in the problem. So we'll have to write to balance BD in the cash book on the debit side in the cash column 6,000. Similarly, we have to write to balance BD in the cash book on the debit side in the bank column 12,000. Okay? And there will be no journal entry for this transactions. So the question of narration does not arise. Okay? So let's write. On 1st April, to balance BD, to balance BD 6,000 in the cash column and cash at bank 12,000 in the bank column. Okay. Now let's see the next transaction. The next transaction is on 4th April, checks received from Raj and deposited into bank 10,000. So what will be the journal entry? The journal entry will be bank account debit to Raj account 10,000. So what is the position of bank account? Since bank account is on the debit side, Raj account will also be on the debit side. So we'll have to write to Raj account in the cash book on the debit side in the bank column 10,000. Okay. So now let's write. So 4th April to Raj account, check received. So it should be in the bank column 10,000 being check received from Raj and deposited into the bank on the same day. And moreover, bank column represents bank account and bank account comes under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. When check is received from Raj and deposited into the bank on the same day, bank is the receiver of the check. So bank is the receiver of the benefit. So bank account will be debited and 10,000 will be debited. And moreover, when check is deposited into the bank balance is increased. Okay. So now let's see the next transaction. The next transaction is on 10th April, receive cash 5,000 and check 3,000 for cash sales. So what will be the journal entry? The journal entry will be cash account debit 5,000, bank account debit 3,000 to sales account 8,000. Understood? 5,000 plus 3,000 will give you 8,000. গুডস আমি সেল করেছি 8,000, তার মধ্যে আমি 5,000 ক্যাশে রিসিভ করেছি আর 3,000 চেকে রিসিভ করেছি। Understood? What will be the journal entry? The journal entry will be cash account debit 5,000, bank account debit 3,000 to sales account 8,000. Okay? And what is the position of cash account and bank account? Since cash account is on the debit side, sales account will also be on the debit side. So we'll have to write to sales account in the cash book on the debit side in the cash column 5,000. And what is the position of bank account? Since bank account is on the debit side also, sales account will also be on the debit side. So we'll have to write to sales account in the cash book on the debit side in the bank column 3,000. Okay, so let's write 10th April to sales account receive cash 5,000, so it should be in the cash column, and receive check 3,000, so it should be in the bank column. Being good, so moreover, cash column represents cash account, and cash account comes under real account, and according to real account, what comes in is debit. Here, when goods are sold, cash comes into the business, so 5,000 will be debited. And moreover, bank column represents bank account, and bank account comes under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. Here, when goods are sold, check is received. So bank is the receiver of the check. So bank account will be debited. So 3,000 will be debited. Understood? So now let's see the next transaction. On 12th April, bank notifies that Raj's check has been dishonored. Bank charged 1,000 on this check. What will be the journal entry? রাজের থেকে আমরা একটা চেক রিসিভ করেছিলাম অন 4th April. How much? 10,000. সেটা ব্যাংকে ডিপোজিট করা হয়েছিল, কিন্তু সেটা ডিসঅনার হয়ে গেছে বা বাউন্স ব্যাক হয়ে গেছে। দ্যাট মিনস রাজের ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্টে টাকা নেই। দের ইজ নো মানি ইন দ্য ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্ট। ব্যাংক নোটিফাই করছে এই চেকটা ডিসঅনার হয়ে গেছে। দেন দ্য চেক উইল গো ব্যাক টু রাজ। সো রাজ অ্যাকাউন্ট উইল বি ডেবিট টু ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্ট, কারণ চেকটা ব্যাংক থেকে চলে যাচ্ছে। সো হোয়াট উইল বি দ্য জার্নাল এন্ট্রি? জার্নাল এন্ট্রি উইল বি রাজ অ্যাকাউন্ট ডেবিট টু ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্ট। হাউ মাচ? 10,000 প্লাস 1,000, 11,000। এটা এই চার্জটাও দিতে হবে, বিকজ যেহেতু চেকটা ডিসঅনার হলো তার জন্য ব্যাংক একটা এক্সপেন্স নেবে। তো সিন্স দ্য রাজ চেক হ্যাজ বিন ডিসঅনার্ড, দ্য ব্যাংক উইল চার্জ হিম 1,000. So the total amount will be 10,000 plus 1,000, 11,000. So what will be the journal entry? The journal entry will be Raj account debit to bank account 11,000. So what is the position of bank account? Since bank account is on the credit side, Raj will also be on the credit side. So we'll have to write by Raj account in the cash book on the credit side in the bank column 11,000. 10,000 plus 1,000. 11,000. Okay, so let's write. So on 12th April, by Raj account, $11,000, 10,000 plus 1,000, being Raj check has been dishonored. Narration is a must, otherwise marks will be deducted. And moreover, cash book is a journal as well as a ledger, and that is the reason see LF has been written here. Otherwise ledger e ki hoy? Journal folio. Cash book is a journalist ledger. Okay, because it serves the purpose of a journal as well as a ledger, and that is the reason cash account and bank account is not opened in the ledger accounts. Okay, that is the reason we straight away record these transactions in the cash book, because cash book is a journal too. Okay, moreover, bank column represents bank account. Bank account comes under personal account. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Here, when Raj's check has been dishonored, bank is the giver of the check because the check will be given back by the bank to Raj. Okay, so 11,000 will be credited. Okay, now let's see the next transaction. The next transaction is on 20th April, purchase typewriter for cash for personal use. Remember, personal use, not office use. Please remember, when the proprietor withdraws cash for his personal expenses or private expenses, will always have to use the term drawings. Okay, instead of typewriter, always remember typewriter amra likhi na. Instead of typewriter, we should use the term office equipment. But here we cannot use office equipment because the proprietor has withdrawn the money for personal use. So whenever the proprietor withdraws cash for personal use or private expenses, we always have to use the term drawings. So the journal entry will be drawings account debit to cash account 7,000. Okay. So what is the position of cash account? Since cash account is on the credit side, drawings account will also be on the credit side. So we'll have to write by drawings account in the cash book on the credit side in the cash column 7,000. Okay. So let's write 20th April by drawings account typewriter purchase for cash for personal use. So it should be in the cash column 7,000. Being narration a typewriter लिखो office equipment ना but drawings सुना. Being typewriter, in the narration you'll always use the word typewriter. You don't have to use drawings or office equipment. Typewriter purchased for personal use. Okay. Moreover, cash column represents cash account. Cash account comes under real account. According to real account, what goes out is credit. When cash is withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use, cash goes out from the business. So 7,000 will be credited. Okay. So let's see the last transaction. The last transaction is on 25th April, purchase typewriter for 8,000 paid by check. Nothing is mentioned here. Is it for office use or is it for personal use? If nothing is mentioned, we have to assume it as office use. So purchase typewriter যদি কিছু মেনশন করা না, এটা কি পার্সোনাল ইউজের জন্য নাকি অফিস ইউজের জন্য, কিছু যদি মেনশন না করা থাকে, অলওয়েজ উইল অ্যাজিউম ইট অ্যাজ ফর অফিস ইউজ. So purchase typewriter for office use for 8,000 paid by check. So what will be the journal entry? Instead of typewriter, we'll write office equipment. So office equipment debit to bank. See, check is mentioned. So the journal entry will be office equipment debit to bank account 8,000. Since bank account is on the credit side, office equipment will also be on the credit side. So we'll have to write buy office equipment in the cash book on the credit side in the bank column 8,000. Okay. So let's write 25th April buy office equipment being office equipment purchased by check 8,000. Moreover, bank column represents bank account. So bank account comes under personal account. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Here, when office equipment is purchased and paid by check, the bank is the giver of the check. So 8,000 will be credited. Okay. So now let's calculate the total of cash column on the debit side and the total of cash column on the credit side. Okay. So the total of debit column is 11,000 and the total of credit column is 7,000. So the debit side total is bigger than the credit side total. So we'll have to write 11,000 on both sides because this is the rule. The total of cash column on the debit side is 11,000 and the total of cash column on the credit side is 7,000. So we'll always have to write the bigger total. যেটা বড় সেটাই আমাদের লিখতে হয় on the both sides. So 11,000. So there is a shortfall on the credit side. So cash book আমাদের balance করতে হবে. So we'll write by balance CD. কত shortfall? The total of cash column on the debit side is 11,000 and the total of cash column on the credit side is 7,000. So deduct 7,000 from 11,000, you'll get 4,000. তাহলে 4,000 হচ্ছে by balance CD 4,000. This 4,000 is the closing cash in hand. Okay. What will be the date? The last day in the month of April. That is 30th April. Okay. Now let's calculate the total of bank column on the debit side and the total of bank column on the credit side. Okay. Let's do it. So the total of bank column on the debit side is 25,000 and the total of bank column on the credit side is 19,000. So we'll have to write 25,000 because whichever is bigger, we have to write 25,000 on the credit side also. Karon, what is the rule? J total ta boro hobe setai amader likhte hobe. There is a shortfall in the bank column. How much? The total of bank column on the debit side is 25,000 and the total of bank column on the credit side is 19,000. So deduct 19,000 from 25,000, you'll get 6,000. So this is the closing cash at bank. Okay. So by balance CD 4,000 in the cash column and by balance CD 6,000 in the bank column. So this 4,000 is the closing cash in hand and this 6,000 is the closing cash at bank. This by balance CD will be brought forward on the debit side beneath the debit total. This is the rule. Opposite likhta. This closing cash in hand and this closing cash at bank will be the opening cash in hand and the opening cash at bank for the next month. Okay. So this will be 4,000 and 6,000. So to balance BD 4,000 and 6,000. This 4,000 is the opening cash in hand for the month of May, the next day, 1st May, and this 6,000 will be the opening cash at bank for the month of May. Just like this, see, for like this, on 1st April, to balance BD 6,000 in the cash column and 12,000 in the bank column. What is this? This is the opening balance for the month of April. Actually, this has been brought forward in the month of April from the month of March. মার্চের যেটা ক্লোজিং ক্যাশ ইন হ্যান্ড ছিল ওটা এপ্রিলের ওপেনিং ক্যাশ ইন হ্যান্ড, যেটা 31st মার্চের ক্লোজিং ক্যাশ ইন হ্যান্ড ছিল 6,000 সেটা 1st এপ্রিলের ওপেনিং ক্যাশ ইন হ্যান্ড, আর যেটা 31st মার্চের ক্লোজিং ক্যাশ এট ব্যাঙ্ক 12,000 ছিল সেটা 1st এপ্রিলে 12,000 ওপেনিং ক্যাশ এট ব্যাঙ্ক. ওকে, just like this, same thing. Now see, the double column cash book is balanced. I hope you understood. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your precious time. I sincerely hope this was helpful. And before I fade out, please remember, you may not be perfect in many things, but don't you worry, because nobody is perfect in this world. Please remember, there is some good in everybody. So be the best in whatever you do. Bye-bye. Take care, stay safe, and stay blessed always.